Number 1, Judas's death, hanging versus falling. Matthew 27:5 says Judas hanged himself. Acts 1:18 says he fell and burst open. Both can be true. Judas likely hanged himself, and later, when the rope or branch broke, his body fell and ruptured. The accounts are giving different parts of the same sequence of events. Number 2, resurrection accounts. Different women at the tomb. Each gospel writer highlights different women who went to the tomb, not because they disagreed, but because they were focusing on particular witnesses for their audience. Think of it like news reports naming different people present at the same event. When you combine the accounts, they form a fuller picture. Number 3, creation order. Genesis 1 versus Genesis 2. Genesis 1 is a chronological overview of creation. Genesis 2 zooms in on day 6, giving a thematic retelling focused on humanity. The different ordering in chapter 2 isn't a contradiction, it's a literary shift from sequence to emphasis. Number 4, genealogies of Jesus. Matthew versus Luke. Matthew traces Jesus' lineage through Joseph's royal line to show his legal right to David's throne. Luke traces through Mary's line to show his biological descent. Different purposes and audiences explain the variation in names and structure. Number 5, God's nature. Changing his mind versus not changing. Verses like Exodus 32:14 describe God relenting in human terms, anthropomorphism, to show his relational responsiveness. Malachi 3:6 affirms his unchanging character and purposes. God's nature never changes, even when his dealings with his people adapt to their repentance or rebellion. Number 6, Noah's animals. 2 of each versus 7 pairs of clean animals. Genesis 6:19 and 20 gives the general instruction of 2 of each kind. Genesis 7:2 adds a further detail, 7 pairs of clean animals for sacrifices and food after the flood. It's additional instruction, not a contradiction. Number 7, who incited David's census? God versus Satan. 2 Samuel 24:1 says God's anger prompted the event. 1 Chronicles 21:1 says Satan incited David. God can sovereignly allow Satan to tempt as part of his judgment, similar to Job's testing. So both statements can be true from different perspectives. Number 8, the number of Solomon's horse stalls. 4,000 versus 40,000. Most likely a copyist's numerical error occurred in transmission, which is possible in ancient hand copying. Other evidence leans toward 4,000 being correct, and minor numerical variants don't undermine the core message of the text. Jesus' last words on the cross. Each gospel writer records different words of Jesus, but none claim to list all of them. When combined, the gospels give us 7 distinct sayings from the cross, each adding a facet to the full scene. Number 10, day and time of the crucifixion. Mark versus John. Mark uses Jewish timekeeping, day starting at sunrise, putting the crucifixion at the 3rd hour, about 9 a.m. John uses Roman timekeeping, the day starting at about midnight, so about the 6th hour is around 6 a.m., when Pilate presented Jesus to the crowd. Both fit when you account for different systems of